I'm going to disassemble the seawater pump after noticing some corrosion with some rusted bolts on the bottom there and a lot of salt on the base of the engine bay. So I'm going to take it apart, clean it up. First step is to close the through hole. Here's the diagram for the sea pump. I'm going to take off these two hoses. I'm going to take off this belt cover because it's easy, and I'm struggling a little bit to get this hose off, and also it'll give me better access to the fasteners or the bolts at the back of the pump. Just noticed that my through hole valve is not working correctly. It's completely closed, but even with it fully closed, if I put my seawater inlet pipe in or in the down position, it just constantly leaks salt water. So I've just got my belt cover here positioned so that the pipe stays upright to stop more salt water coming in. And another thing to add to the maintenance list is to repair or replace that through hole valve. Okay, now the next step I'm going to do is loosen the 4 mounting bolts for seawater pump and remove it from the assembly, whilst also putting a rag under here to catch any oil that might come out. I also sprayed these 2 lower bolts with some penetrating oil about an hour ago because they're quite corroded, so to try and give me the best hope of getting them out without any issue. Okay, so I got the pump off. Just a small amount of oil came out, which is good, and I just set the pump up face down on this rag for a minute to let the oil drain off of it. Now I'm going to take this upstairs to continue disassembling, cleaning. So I've got the pump on the workbench now. I'm going to take the nut off, which is holding on this cog. Removing that one nut was quite difficult, so I mounted the pump with the cog in the jaws and accessed the nut from underneath and was able to get it undone. Now I'm going to remove the cover plate. Quickly inspect the impeller, make sure it's in good condition while it's out, because why not? Everything looks good. All the blades are intact, no marks, nothing missing, looks good. Next we're going to remove that circlip that's holding the shaft in place with the circlip pliers. Now the metal cover inside here should fall out, like that. Now the washer at the base of the shaft comes out, the one that's turning. Now everything's free from here, circlip plate washer. We're going to tap the shaft here with the hammer sharply once or twice to release the shaft out of the cog. Now we're going to remove this circlip that's holding the bearing in. Now I tapped the shaft on the impeller side to push the shaft and the bearings out the other side. Now we have the shaft and bearings, as well as the lip seal that came out. The lip seal was positioned down there, and the lip seal faces with this ridge towards the bearings and this flat surface towards the impeller. Now I'm going to clean all these guys up and reassemble. Also pushed out this white spacer bearing from inside on the impeller side with the flat surface facing the impeller and the ridged surface facing the cog. Next I took out this rubber holder spacer that held that white plastic bearing with the flat side facing the cog and the intended side facing the impeller to hold the weight. The final part I'm having troubles getting out, and I'm worried I'm going to break it, so I'm going to leave it in there, which is this lip seal, which is on the cog side. I can't really get it out, so I'm just going to try and clean it in place as best I can, because I don't want to damage it. Okay, now time for reassembly. First is going to be the little rubber boot or what. Next is going to be the white bearing with the grooved surface facing towards the cog, the flat surface facing towards the... Next is the shaft going in from the cog side and pushing up through this white bearing. Next is the retaining circlip that stops the bearing or holds the bearing in. Next is this spring loaded shaft seal, which goes on the impeller side with the black ridged surface facing down and the flat surface facing up towards the impeller. Next is this cog that fits on this side of the cog side, with the cog facing upwards, and being careful to put the key over the slot on the shaft. Now we add this copper washer over the shaft. And add the circlip to hold down that washer. Next is the retaining nut on the cog, and I'm going to put this on as far as I can, and then grip the cog with the vice grips again and put that on real nice and tight. Next is this metal plate with, I think, the circular scratches facing down like this. And then next is the impeller, which has the Yanmar riding facing up. Next I'm going to add some grease to this O-ring as per Yanmar's instructions, as if you were replacing an impeller and this O-ring. Okay, now we replace the impeller cover and bolts. Now I'm going to clean up this surface in preparation for a new gasket before clamping it onto the engine. Now I'm going to clean up this surface as well in preparation for the new gasket. Okay, both surfaces are nice and clean, and I've wiped off all the oil there, with a little bit still appearing every now and then. But I'll wipe it off before I put the gasket on. This surface is nice and clean too. So now I'm going to put the gasket on and reinstall the pump. Now we're going to tighten the pump, these 4 bolts, here, and below, in a cross pattern. So do this one, the opposite one, come up, and do the opposite ones, and then slowly tighten it so I get a nice seal on that new gasket. Okay, now I'm going to connect the 2 pipes, 1 and 2, according to how they were connected.